All right, so you came in with your wife because she had a pretrial today.
Yes, sir. And
And your was set for Thursday.
yeah,
So
I'm trying to miss as least amount of work
all right,
as possible.
I certainly understand that. I can't quite sort this out, Mr. McClish. Anyway, you're Stephen Earl McClish.
Yes.
You got arrested for operating while intoxicated on May 12th. And this is file 24797 OD. It's an ordinance case. You're also charged in file 24777 with operating while intoxicated on the same day, May 12th. Did you get arrested twice in the same day?
No, Your Honor.
Let's see what I can figure out here. You have a pretrial with Judge Pattison or this morning on the 777 case. You had an old one more than 10 years ago that I remembered, but I gotta figure this out. I think you got the same case in two different file numbers. That's what I think. One under state statute, one under ordinance. All right, 24777. Let's look at that one. That is a formal complaint filed by the county prosecutor's office. Said you were driving a vehicle on May 12th on Michigan Avenue with having a blood alcohol over 0.17 and having open intoxicants. And that is set for a pretrial today. The other case, 24797. Good morning, Ms. Ives.
Good morning, sir.
Who do you need?
Well, I need to see Mr. Schwartz, who's in lockup, and they say he's gonna be before you. He's also got
Yeah, he's got a bunch of pretrials.
he's got a PEC with, can I see Mr. Schwartz? Okay, thank you. Judge,
Yes,
When you get to an arraignment for Mr. Parr,
yes,
I would like to be here.
okay. Yeah, have a seat. We'll do him next.
Okay.
You also got a ticket for OUIL refusing a breath test under Three Rivers City ordinance. I think what happened, Mr. Reed, is when they discovered he had a high blood alcohol level, got recharged. Looks like the same incident.
Correct.
I
I believe that's accurate.
All right, well, you can't get charged twice for the same offense, once under city ordinance, once under state statute, but this is a high blood alcohol level case. You have a previous conviction. My suggestion is that we appoint an attorney for you on each of these cases to help you through the process. Is that agreeable with you?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna show not guilty plea on both cases.
Is the ordinance case just a citation? There's no formal complaint? correct?
No,
Just a ticket?
just a ticket. But I don't want to nolly it now until we figure out, I'm
Right.
assuming one of these will be dismissed. In fact, it'll have to be dismissed. You can't get charged twice. But the city has authority only of offenses up to 93 days. If it's punishable by more than 93 days, it has to be charged under state law. So when your blood alcohol level came back at over 0.17, the county prosecutor, Mr. Marvin's office, charged it as high blood alcohol level. Let's see if I can tell anything about this. Good morning, just have a seat.
These are for him.
Oh, those are for him? Okay,
Your sister.
okay. Well, your PBT at the jail was 270, which is quite high. All right, I'll show a not guilty plea on both cases. Are you missing work right now?
Yes.
Where do you work?
I'm a union carpenter. I'm up at Zoetis in Portage.
All right, that sounds like a good job. You're gonna have to miss again. I'm gonna set an attorney pretrial for July 12th at 8:30. I have to sort this out. I don't know if you're eligible for sobriety court, but obviously you can't be in two charges for the same offense. So I'm appointing an attorney, set an attorney pretrial for July 12th at 8:30. You had a pretrial this morning, and so that's not needed.
Which is with Judge Patterson,
Mhm.
so I don't need to go.
You don't
with
need to
that?
go over
Okay.
there. All right, you go out to the counter. I just lost my court officer. He's in the back with a attorney.
Okay.
But go out to the counter and they'll give you the court-appointed paperwork. I want you to call that lawyer, make an appointment to discuss it with him. And do you have a valid driver's license?
They believe they took it. I have
Well,
the-
you did at that
I have
time.
it, yes.
You have the little paper
Yeah,
license?
I have the paper.
All right, well, you're still valid as far as I can tell. Go out to the counter and then they'll give you the court-appointed paperwork.
Okay, thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. All right, Mr. Parr, I gotta get this up here. I was aware of this whole thing. There was a warrant out for Shelby for about 2 years and nobody ever bothered to serve it.
Yeah,
And then I got a pile of all the unserved domestic violence cases. Most of them have since been served, but her warrant was out for a year probably. And
Yeah.
then she was recently stopped for a traffic ticket or something.
it was a dispute over a rental deal, but yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at yours. I gotta find it because you weren't scheduled for today. And as a source of my great frustration, that particularly in domestic violence cases, that they will get a warrant and then never serve it. And that isn't good for anybody.
No, because then you don't know you have anything. But I don't believe mine was considered domestic violence.
No, yours is assault and battery and disturbing the peace. So let's take a look at yours. Shelby, what did you do on your case? Did you get a lawyer to help you with it?
I just talked to her.
Okay, you were just here on a pretrial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm dismissing hers.
okay. I'm not surprised. All right, so you came in with your wife because she had a pretrial today.
Yes, sir. And I
And
just,
your was set for Thursday,
yeah,
so
I'm trying to miss as least amount of
all
work
right,
as possible.
I certainly understand that. All right, the complaint is that this happened on August 3rd of 2023. So it wasn't quite a year ago, but a number of months ago. That alleged that you assaulted Ronald Krapinski. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Ronald Krapinski is your wife's ex-husband, and there's been a lot of discord in that relationship.
Yes, sir.
Second count alleges disturbing the peace, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Melissa Halleck from the prosecuting attorney's office is here, and she has had a pretrial with the co-defendant, or I'm not sure she's classified as a co-defendant, but with your wife. Melissa, what's the status here?
Well, I'm dismissing Miss Shelby Parr's case. As far as Chester, I would like to watch the video evidence, but I would be inclined, most likely in this case, I'm gonna offer disturbing the peace from the short video I did watch. This was a domestic incident, and it sounds like the victim, Ronald Krapinski, was withholding the child. I'm not saying that makes okay for any aggressive behavior, but it appears to me that there are interviews that I would like to watch the actual, there's an alleged witness, but as far as what Mr. Parr was involved in. So, but we're up, I think a PR bond would be appropriate in this case. And then again, I just need to review further evidence.
Where are you working, Mr. Parr?
AutoZone in Three Rivers,
I've been there sometimes. I don't remember. How long have you been there?
about 3 years. I do driving for all the local shops.
Well, okay. Domestic assault and battery is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Disturbing the peace is a old-fashioned simple misdemeanor, meaning it's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Disturbing the peace, and I say this a lot, doesn't matter who was right or wrong or who started it. Was there a quarrel, argument, or disturbance in a public place? And it sounds like Ms. Halleck is willing to offer that case. If you want to resolve it today, you completed disturbing the peace and I'll order a $200 fine. If you wish to have her review it further, I can set it for a further pretrial out a ways.
Would my bond cover the $200?
Yes, you have a $300 bond.
So I get 100 back?
You get $100
Yeah, we can
back.
do that then, Your Honor.
All right. Other than what I just told you, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to
No, Your
this
Honor.
or threaten you?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent unless they could prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. So let's talk about this. Did you and your wife's ex-husband get into a quarrel and a shoving match regarding custody and visitation of your stepdaughter?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was on Spring Street?
I believe so, yes. Right off Constantine Street.
Yep. All right, that brings a closure to this. Mrs. Parr, how did you get arrested on your case?
We both got arrested the same day. It was on Monday, the day after Mother's Day. We went to our old house to get the rest of our belongings. We were in the process of moving from our rental to another. The landlord at that time changed locks on our rental, even though we have till June 28th to be out. So we called the cops to help us get access to the house. And
Found these old warrants. All right, there's a $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. $200, you have $300 bond. Let me make sure you don't owe me any money, like Mr. Chris does. All right, I'm gonna have the court officer take you out to the counter. You'll get $100 of your money back. in
I
this
have to
case.
take it, I have to
All right.
go. Clippers anyway.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
How's it been since last August? Has it been event
We
free?
haven't seen him or heard from him until like 2 weeks ago. Like
His parenting time's now
yeah,
suspended.
he likes to take part in extracurriculars.
Yes, I'm well aware of the situation.
So we try to,
Somebody, in fact, one of my kids asked me about how he was doing.
not so hot.
Not so hot. I saw him riding like a kid's bike in town. Shelby, I've talked with this before. I'm sorry to even see all this, but you guys are trying to make your way in the world.
Yes, sir.
And this brings closure to this.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to try this again. The defendant came rolling in about 12 minutes late, but we've managed to reconnect with our interpreter.
He was saying that we told him 11 o'clock. I can't say whether we did or did not tell him when we were doing the screening process, but
Okay, and that's possible.
it is possible. There you go.
All right, good morning once again, Vivian.
Good morning.
The defendant arrived. He may have been given at 11 o'clock time by the probation department. Alberto Juarez Patlan is here. Is that you,
Okay.
sir?
¿Usted es Alberto Juárez Patlan? Yes.
This is Ms. Montero. She was here with us back in April when we took this plea.
Aquí está la señora Montero. Ella nos acompañaba cuando recibimos su contestación de culpable en
And
abril.
she's going to interpret for us again today.
Ella va a interpretar para nosotros nuevamente el día de hoy.
All
That's
right,
fine.
Ms. Montero, would you please raise your right hand? You swear affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from Spanish into English and English into Spanish.
I do.
We were here in April and the defendant entered a plea on 2 charges.
Estuvimos aquí en el mes de abril y el acusado contestó culpable en 2 cargos.
Operating without having a valid license in his possession
Conducir sin tener una licencia vigente a su poder
and operating a motor vehicle while impaired by alcohol.
conducir un vehículo con las facultades disminuidas por alcohol.
He waived his right to have an attorney to represent him at that time.
Usted renunció su derecho a que un abogado lo representara en ese momento.
Prosecutor agreed not to charge the matter as operating while intoxicated.
El fiscal estuvo de acuerdo a reducir la gravedad del cargo y para que no enfrentara el cargo de conducir en estado de ebriedad.
Daniel Frazine from the probation department
Daniel Frenzine del Departamento de Libertad Condicional
was assigned to do the screening report,
fue asignado para realizar la entrevista inicial
and he has prepared a report for us today.
y ha preparado un informe para nosotros aquí el día de hoy.
Also present is Melissa Halleck from the prosecuting attorney's office
También está presente la licenciada Melissa Halleck de la Fiscalía
and our chief public defender, Mr. Keith Stickley,
y el abogado de oficio principal, licenciado Keith Stickley,
is also here as a courtesy.
también está aquí de cortesía.
Mr. Juarez Patlan, you waived your right to have an attorney when you entered this plea.
Señor Juárez Patlán, usted renunció su derecho a tener un abogado cuando usted contestó culpable.
I told you that if you could not afford an attorney, I could appoint one for you.
Yo le dije, si usted no puede darse el lujo de contratar un abogado particular, yo le puedo asignar uno.
Or you could proceed without a lawyer.
O que usted podía proceder sin un abogado.
And that is what you chose to do.
Y eso es lo que decidió hacer.
Do you want me to continue here today and do the sentence
¿Desea que yo proceda aquí el día de hoy para imponer la condena?
without a lawyer?
¿Sin abogado? Yes.
Well, Mr. Stickley will be here to make sure that we are complying with the rules.
Licenciado Stickley va a estar aquí para asegurar que estamos cumpliendo con las reglas. Okay.
Mr. Frazine has prepared the report,
El señor Freystein ha preparado el informe
and I got to also review the police report.
y yo tuve la oportunidad de también revisar el informe de policía.
This happened on April 5th.
Esto tomó lugar el 5 de abril. Ajá.
In Constantine Road and Steers Road.
Sobre la Constantine Road con la Steers Road.
Mankey Road and Frank Jones Road.
Yeah, there's 2 tickets in the same file.
Hay 2 multas en el mismo expediente.
Here's the correct ticket.
Aquí está la multa indicada.
Mankey Road and Frank Jones Road.
Perdón, estaba sobre la Mankey Road con la Frank Jones Road.
Near where the defendant works.
Cerca de donde trabaja el acusado.
He had no valid license at that time.
Que estaba conduciendo y no traía una licencia vigente en ese momento.
And he was driving very badly.
Y no estaba conduciendo de manera imprudente. Ajá.
And for reasons I don't completely understand.
Por
it was
razones
written
más
only
allá
as-
de mi conocimiento,
It was written as impaired driving.
lo pusieron como conducir con las facultades disminuidas.
As far as we could find,
De lo que podemos hallar,
we couldn't find any previous record.
no encontramos antecedentes penales.
Mr. Frazine, you had recommended a probation. I'm
Señor-
frankly, go ahead.
Señor Freystein, usted había recomendado un plazo de libertad condicional. Ajá.
but I'm not inclined to put someone on probation who's been deported twice.
Normalmente no coloco una persona quien ha sido deportado 2 veces en un plazo de libertad condicional. Oh,
It's unlikely, as you said in your report, that he's going to be deported.
como dice en su informe, es improbable que será deportado nuevamente,
Which is why you recommended a
That
probation.
is correct. Yeah.
lo cual usted recomendaba un plazo de libertad condicional. ¿Es correcto, su señoría?
And he did agree to watching the Spanish VIP right after sentencing today.
All right.
Y él estuvo de acuerdo de mirar en español el video de VIP enseguida después de la imposición de la condena hoy.
You already did 2 days jail, and he's recommending 2 days jail.
Usted ya pasó encerrado 2 días de cárcel y él está recomendando 2 días de cárcel. Okay.
Ms. Halleck, do you have any input on this case at all?
I reviewed the report.
Licenciada Halleck, ¿quiere decir algo sobre el caso? Yo he repasado el informe,
I reviewed Mr. Frazine's report,
revisé el informe del señor Frazine
and I agree with the recommendations that are made.
y estoy de acuerdo con las recomendaciones que se ha hecho.
Senor Juarez Patlan, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
Señor Juárez Patlan, ¿hay algo que desea decirme?
No,
No.
Are you still working at the dairy farm?
¿Usted sigue trabajando en el rancho de vacas?
sí,
Yes.
Now, you had a Mexican driver's license at one time.
¿Usted tenía una licencia de conducir de México en algún momento?
sí,
Yes.
But that does not presently give you permission to drive a car here in Michigan. Do you understand?
Actualmente eso no le da autorización de poder manejar aquí en Michigan. ¿Entiende usted eso?
sí,
Yes.
I'm going to order a $300 fine,
Multa 300.
$75 crime victims' rights fee,
$75 para víctimas de delitos.
a screening fee of $100,
$100 para la entrevista inicial.
$120 reimbursement to Three Rivers or to the county sheriff's department,
$125 de reparación para el departamento de sheriff del condado.
and a $32 victim impact fee.
Y $32 para el costo de la película que va a ver.
300 plus 125
Está sumando todo,
plus 100 for screening
más los $100 para la entrevista inicial,
plus $120 police reimbursement,
más $125 reparación a la policía,
300 plus 125 plus 100 plus 120 plus 32 is $677.
son $677.
ajá, sí,
I'm ordering
that's-
that the victim impact panel in Spanish.
Voy a ordenar que participa en lo que se llama el Victim Impact Panel en español.
Can you pay that fine today or do you need time?
¿Puede pagar ese monto hoy o necesita tiempo para pagarlo?
no, hoy,
Today.
All right. On the no ops in possession,
En cuanto al otro cargo que usted no tenía una licencia vigente a su poder,
ajá,
I'm going to order 2 days jail credit, 2 days.
voy a ordenar 2 días de cárcel, darle crédito por los 2 días que ya pasó encerrado.
At the same time as the impaired.
Al mismo tiempo, por el otro cargo.
You're not going to go back to jail.
Usted no va a ir de regreso a la cárcel.
ajá,
And I'm not going to put you on probation,
Y no le voy a colocar en un plazo de libertad condicional.
although Mr. Frazine's reasoning makes good sense.
Aunque tiene razón el señor Frazine y tiene sentido,
I chose not to do that.
decidí no hacerlo.
You need to go out to the counter and pay the fine.
Tiene que pasar a la ventanilla y pagar la multa.
ajá,
Then you
está
can
bien.
go down with Mr. Frazine and watch the victim impact panel.
Y luego puede acompañar al señor Fraser a mirar este video.
Ajá, está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, no more driving, correct?
Ya no puede conducir, ¿verdad?
Ok, está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, you have family in Mexico, correct?
Usted tiene familia en México, ¿verdad?
Sí,
Yes.
And you're sending money there.
Y usted está enviando dinero allá.
sí.
Yes.
No, I'm not gonna get into anything beyond that.
No voy a ir más profundo que eso.
Vivian, thank you for your help. Sorry about the mix-up.
You're welcome, no worries. Thank you. Have a
That might-
good day, Your Honor.
And on us, thank you. Okay. This is file 24892 ST, People versus Bruce Lee Jordan from Borough. Mr. Jordan got cited with driving with a suspended license. Mr. Jordan, it's alleged that on or about May 20th, you were driving in this village of Colon with a suspended license. Plate was registered to you and they saw that you were suspended. So they give you a ticket for that. We get lots of those, might be our most common offense.
Are you hearing this already?
Yes, come on in.
Interrupting.
Yes.
So we have Ms. Hastinger as the counselor, and she is just going to talk to you about representing herself because they don't like the advice that the attorney's been giving them. And she just wants, and then she wanted to be assigned a new attorney. I let her know that that's something she has to speak with you.
Yeah, we'll set a hearing for it. I don't want to do it without giving notice to the prosecutor and the defense attorney.
So it's the 31st. So do you want to do it sometime this week or do you want to reschedule for APT
We'll discuss it at the attorney pretrial
and discuss it?
when everybody will be there.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to her alone and let the
Yeah.
other sides
Nope,
be.
I understand. Thank you, Judge.
All right, sorry about that. All right, let's take a look at Mr. Bruce Lee Jordan's driving record. It shows that he is suspended. The license expires January 30th of 25. He has a motorcycle endorsement and a chauffeur's license. He is suspended. There was a crash in 22. Careless driving in 21. Child endangerment in Cass County. I think that's the one that got you suspended.
Your Honor.
That was in 2003. I can't tell exactly why you are suspended. Can you, Mr. Jordan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was put on review, I think.
Yes, they had three negligent crashes.
Right.
They had a reexamination in 2023.
Yes, that's it, sir.
And they referred you for a medical evaluation and you failed to appear for your medical evaluation. So they suspended you in June of 2023 until you meet their requirements. So you're a sort of a medical referral. These are rare, but it was one of the 31 ways to get your license suspended. So let's talk about the charge. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points and it requires that your license be suspended. You didn't drive here. Did your caseworker bring you here today?
My wife.
Oh, your wife, okay. Very good. Well, how do you plead to that charge?
Well, guilty. I mean, I'm,
All right, anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to that
no,
or threaten you?
no,
And you understand you're giving up these advice of rights?
yes.
Where were you going?
Well, in the morning, it started out with getting a phone call from our bank, fraud division. There was some fraudulent charges on our bank account. And they locked the account basically.
Where's your bank?
Well, it's Sturgis Federal, but it's Colon Banking Center.
Okay,
They're
so you were
Colon.
going to the bank in downtown Colon?
Yes, sir. And then from the bank to the pharmacy, which is almost right across the street,
Yes.
and then that's when Officer Brooks pulled me over, was in the pharmacy parking lot. And I was there to pick up pharmacy, prescriptions, but I had to go to the bank, or, well, I needed to go to the bank to, get a new card and to get a new,
Well, these are tough because the prosecutor and doesn't have the authority to lift the suspension, and the judge doesn't either. We had one of these in Sturgis where the man kept driving and he was subject to seizures. And he kept driving. And we had petitioned for a rehearing, and he lost his license, but he still kept driving. And he drove through the Burger King parking lot and hit and killed someone while he was under medical suspension. So he was charged with manslaughter. He ended up dying before the case ever went to trial. But the only one that can lift this suspension is the driver license appeal division. You can't go to the bank, you can't get your prescriptions, you just can't drive.
well, and I normally I do not.
Well, that's a good
I
pay
go
plan.
to, my wife Elizabeth works third shift, and I was trying to be nice and pick up our prescriptions and then the bank card.
Not wake her up during her sleep time,
Pardon?
not wake her up during her sleep
Correct.
time. All right, well, it's gonna cost you $100 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee, $225. Can you pay that by the end of June?
Yes.
Make that due by June 20. All I can tell you is you're gonna have to go to the Secretary of State and try to get a hearing. I see you walk with a cane. Do you have some other medical issues going on?
Yes, well, I have a bad back, but I have, an abdominal wound that isn't healing and won't heal. I mean, I've had it, it's an open wound. I've had it since 22.
Oh, my.
And I have, open wounds on my legs that have been an ongoing thing since 2020.
You've been to wound clinics?
Yes, I go weekly to a wound clinic in
Alright.
Coldwater.
Oh, good for you, but you shouldn't be driving.
I don't drive.
All right, look at this, you got,
Um,
the end of the month to pay $225.
225.
And I've got it here in an envelope for you. Miss Jackson, could you give that to me?
Oh, thank you.
You can pay it right now if you want to. Just go out to the counter. You can pay with a credit card or green cash.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck, sir.
Well, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you're the only person to show up.
Well,
We'll see if we can rouse some others up.
thank you.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about who's not here. Mandy Allen got a driving suspended. And she's had several of these. Sometimes she doesn't show up for court. I don't have a phone number. So Mandy Allen, if you're out there, you need to get in here and deal with this, and you need to stop driving. This is a first one, so I'll do a show cause. Daniel Gonzalez Jimenez from Sturgis, charged with operating while intoxicated and driving without a valid operator's license. He failed to appear. Then he failed to show up on May 9th because the computers were down. And they reset it for today. So this is, I think, the third time he's failed to appear. Do a bench warrant. That's an ordinance case. Do a bench warrant, $300 per count. cash or surety, 48-hour hold. This is even worse than it looks because he got arrested for operating while intoxicated on February the 18th. Then he got arrested again in file number 24630 OD with operating while intoxicated and no license again on April 14th. So he has two separate drunk driving cases without licenses that he's failed to appear for. And new bench warrants on all of them. On the April 16th incident, we're also going to do two bench warrants. It's like Judge Patterson's day. I tease him that people don't show up for his arraignments. But we've only had one person here who was willing to accept responsibility. Tanisha Washington, charged with being a disorderly person in Sturgis. Tanisha Washington is my cousin's granddaughter, which makes her my first cousin twice removed, I think is what she is. He is deceased. She's not here. There's no phone number. We will do a show cause. Shows a Centerville Road address in Sturgis. I'm not sure that's accurate. Then we have Nicholas Richter. He is not present. He's in custody at the jail. He's been charged with being a disorderly person by window peeping and possession of methamphetamine on April 16th of 2024. In file 24636, the same date as this, April 16th, he was charged with unlawfully driving an automobile, fleeing and eluding, and assault with a dangerous weapon. He was sent to the forensic center for psychiatric evaluation, and he was found to be incompetent by Judge Patterson, well, actually by the Center for Forensic Psychiatry. And so if he's incompetent for today, he's incompetent for this other methamphetamine charge. So, Ms. Jackson, I'm not sure what to do with him. Judge Patterson hasn't, I think I have an unsigned copy of the order. He hasn't even been arraigned on the new count yet. His attorney would be Paul Gibson. He's got Ross Truckee in the other case. So to arraign someone who's not competent and tell him what the charge is null and void. So I'm not sure what to do with him. I'm going to commune with Judge Patterson and maybe Prosecutor Marvin and figure out what course of action to take. But as you know, once you get a finding of incompetency, it can take months and months and months and months to get into the forensic center and then to get some treatment. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. Also, Tanisha Washington has $300 of unpaid fines. So we'll figure out what to do with Mr. Richter. Now, there's a couple of pretrials set for this morning. Do you have any of those, Tim? We have Nicole Samuels is an ordinance. And she owes $935. Zachary Hostetler owes a bunch of money, but he's an ordinance. So the only pretrial you've got is Nicole Samuels.
I checked and
She's not here. All right. Well, that was a pretty disjointed morning. They are bringing someone over from the jail, and we may come back for him. I have a PV arraignment on Brody Jack Johnson. That isn't set until 9:30, I think. All right. Well, that was pretty uneventful. We will take a break